Okay guys, so today I'm going to kind of go through a weekly analysis of what I think is going to happen. So tonight is the 28th. Next week will be the 30th, but then we'll enter a new year. So I think we're going to be a little bit bearish coming in to next week. And the reason I say that, so we are technically in a bullish fair value gap here. And it is holding above 50% of that fair value gap. However, if we come over to ES, we do have a tiny bearish fair value gap here that formed. And the reason this makes me kind of weary coming into next week, at least for ES, is every time we see a bearish fair value gap, we tend to have a little bit of a sell-off. So we can go back here. So here's the first one. Again, it's kind of a small one too. We had this first one, and then we kind of dumped for a couple weeks, came back up and retested, and then came back down. We had one here, but we did kind of hold this bullish fair value gap here, and we did sweep some lows. So, but I do see that every time we have a small bearish fair value gap, we kind of dump a little bit. So that's something to keep an eye on going into next week, as we could be bearish. Now, NQ did not have one here. NQ was able to kind of come up and mitigate the fair value gap. So, especially because of the bounce last week, but I am a little bit bearish. If we go into the 4-hour, we're still in that large bearish fair value gap here. So we came up, we came into about 75% of it and kind of rejected. We do have this 4-hour order block here. And we're also in a daily order block. We came up and rejected it Thursday and Friday. So I'm a little bit bearish. I think what we're going to end up doing, I think we're going to come down and I think we're going to sweep these relative equal lows that we were unable to get last week. And I think we can eventually revisit this bullish fair value gap. So we could come all the way down here, just sweep these and come up. I think what we'll do is I think we'll end up just taking these lows and then continuing up. And then maybe coming and seeing the monthly. So on ES, if you go to the monthly, we do have a bullish fair value gap here. Right. Let's see, where is it? Here. I think we can come back down. Now this is a long ways away, I know that, but I think eventually, and maybe first quarter, I think we come back and visit this fair value gap here. We do have a lot of liquidity down here, and then we do have relative equal lows here. So I think eventually we'll come back down here. But going into next week, I am a little bit wary. I think Monday and Tuesday we'll see a little bit of bullishness, because I think we can still come up and fill the rest of this fair value gap here, and I think we'll sell off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we do have the Trump administration coming in. Usually that can lead to some volatility. You might even see a bullish push up, but I think eventually, I mean, we've been going up for so long. I think it's time for a little bit of a retracement. Just a little bit of a breather from the market, and we can take out these all these lows in the weekly, and then we'll eventually. I don't think we're gonna crash or anything like that. I'm not like some perma bear or anything like that, but I think eventually we're going to see these lows taken out, and then we can continue higher going into end of Q1, Q2. But yeah, that's how I think we're gonna go this week. Again, we are still in bearish fair value gap, so right now I don't really have much of a reason to be too bullish. We still have these relative equal lows. Now, ES did take these lows, so that's kind of what I was a little bit bullish going into after we swept this low, because this did create a bullish SMT. So as you can see here, ES took these lows while NQ did not. So that's here. Go to ES so you guys can see it more. So as you can see here, ES did take these lows while NQ didn't, so there is some divergence here. I think the divergence did its job, so I wouldn't really take into account this SMT anymore. We did come up and do what we had to do. We did fill up the fair value gap, but I think we're gonna eventually go lower in the next week, and then Q1 we'll probably see more of a retracement. But next week I think we're gonna be bullish at the beginning of the week. I don't think we're gonna take out all-time highs, but I do think we're going to have a couple up days. I don't know if the candles will be very big. It might be end of year, people taking the year off, or taking the rest of the year off. But I do see some reason to be bearish, and so I hope you guys learned something here. I guess we'll see how this plays out. This is not financial advice. Please do not listen to me. I'm just an idiot recording himself and putting it on YouTube to 10 people. But so I'll see you guys in the next video, and trade recaps for next week will continue. And good luck trading, and I hope you make money.